providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Caregiver Crossing. Thank you all so much for being here. If this is your first time joining us, Caregiver Crossing is a show that's brought to you by Joy's House, presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates. We're here with you each week to talk about all things caregiving, and what that means is all things caregiving. That's it. We don't go beyond that.
Everything caregiving.
Well,
I think today we might be talking about some stink bugs.
Oh, do you want to talk about that? That's Noah Taylor, by the way. He produces his show. To my right is Tina Bina McIntosh.
That's me.
That's Tina Bina. Hi, you guys.
Yeah, so go ahead, Terry. Before we came on, you guys, this morning, Terry was telling us how she has stink bugs in her house, which I think all of us kind of get around this time of the year, right?
I thought one was in my hair at the moment.
Yeah, it's like when you talk about lice or anything, you start to itch, right?
Yeah.
She's like, I have stink bugs
I
at
think
home.
I might have a stink bug in my hair.
So then she goes on to tell us that she has pet stink bugs, I think. Is that what I heard?
I kind of think of them as pets, although I really don't do anything to help them
You're
like you would. I'm not feeding them, watering them.
Not walking them.
They're on their own.
Walking them.
No.
But you're observing them.
I observe them, and this has been going on for many years now in my home. As the stink bugs arrive right at the tail end of the warmer weather, and they get in, and I'm okay with it. They just stay in one room; they're contained, and they march back and forth. Usually, and if I say this, they're going north to south. They never go east to west. They move north to south, back and forth, and then eventually some of them die off. But last year, we kept one, and he was there until the weather was perfect for him to go back outside.
Okay, and then when you got him back outside, what did you think to yourself? What did you say to him?
I said, I hope you had a good winter.
Yeah, we made it, is what I think you told us.
You're a survivor.
So I'm going to turn to my right. Noah, if you had a stink bug in your house, what would happen?
Yeah, well, I mean, the moment I see it, it's squished with a shoe.
Oh, and then you get
I'm
the
sorry.
smell. Don't do that. Take them outside, because then the smell will never, you'll always smell that smell.
Well, usually what I do is I crumple it up in a paper towel and flush it down the toilet. Maybe that's too much. I'm sorry. Now I'm feeling bad.
Do we need a moment of silence? Because Terry's hurting.
I know. I'm sorry.
Now.
I'm sorry, Terry.
No, I mean, I don't understand it. To each his own. I'm not judging you.
Jerk.
No, you're right. We should all have a little bit more empathy for bugs.
I don't,
There's a purpose
for some bugs.
for
I'll
all
say.
of them.
That
Daddy
is true.
long
There's a
legs.
purpose.
What about mosquitoes? Do they have a
Dead.
purpose?
I do smack them.
Yeah.
And fleas. I cannot tolerate fleas.
Oh no.
They're hurting my animals.
Now I'm thinking like ticks. Fleas.
Oh, you guys are
mosquitoes.
making me itch.
You know
Everybody's
what? I want to
itchy
tell
now.
you why the possums are good. Because a lot of people hate the possums, but
yeah,
the possums eat ticks.
they do.
20 ticks a day.
They like the ticks.
Everything has a purpose. Amen.
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 And amen.
Oh boy. Okay. What do you want us to talk about?
I want to
today?
talk about maybe somebody else who has a lot of empathy for other people. I'd love to talk about how our caregivers, and that we are celebrating November is Alzheimer's Awareness Month. This month, it is a time to honor those families and the daily strength it takes to keep steady.
Do you know that there are, we're just talking Alzheimer's disease, right? And maybe some related dementias, but there are more than 6 million Americans living with the diagnosis.
That's a lot.
And there's no cure.
No, I mean, in Indiana alone, there are over 200,000 family members that provide millions, hundreds of millions hours of unpaid care every year just for Alzheimer's care
and that's
alone.
just Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Imagine
And
how many caregivers.
Right.
Yeah, alone.
And that road, that is a tough diagnosis to get.
It is. I mean, it's called the long goodbye for a reason, right? And so it does, when you're caregiving for somebody who's living with Alzheimer's or dementia, it's just this constant adjustment. Like we say often that what works one day might not work the next, but to be honest, it's minute to minute sometimes. I mean, it's a lot. And so we are glad to be here as a resource for you and to bring you solutions to some of your problems. But we also want you to know that it is important that you care for yourself, and whether that means respite through Joy's House or another adult day service or someone coming to your home, you've got to take, they say, studies have shown 8 consecutive hours every week as a caregiver.
To care for yourself.
Now listen to that, 8 consecutive hours a day.
Does that
not
include
broken up.
sleep?
It does not include sleep.
No.
Oh, a day, not just a week. You said
I'm
it's
in a week.
day.
I'm in a
Okay,
week. I'm
it's
in a week. Oh Lord, people are freaking out right
okay,
now.
so say it again.
Yeah,
It's
it is 8 consecutive hours in a day every week.
every week.
Yep.
So pick a
So
day.
adult day service is a great option. I mean, I'm biased. That's what Noah and I do for a living here at Joy's house. But adult day services are a great option for that. You can also get someone to come into your home. But the reality is, I think sometimes it's really great to be in your home without your loved one there.
Yeah.
You've got things you want to do, including maybe a nap, or just be without the presence of somebody else there. So
I wonder if there have been studies or research done to show the benefits of bringing someone you love with Alzheimer's so you can do what you need to do, to dropping them off, bringing them into an adult daycare day center, and if that can help extend their life in a sense
Yeah.
because of the social aspects, because of the, there's something going on all the time, there's stimulation, there's some such good benefits I find here.
there's purpose, there's
There's
community,
purpose,
safety.
right, all those things.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you from an informal study, yes. Like we see that, we know that. We can tell you that when someone goes into long-term care, which is still an incredible option and so necessary for so many people in this world, there is a decline. Some of that is a change of scenery. Some of that is just, where they're living now and purpose is different. But I don't know. I think, no, maybe we look into that about adult day. But the study that I'm citing is really for caregivers specifically.
True.
So, hey, I know we're going to have to go in just a minute. Noah really wanted to talk about wish days, but we can't do it right now. We have to do it later.
That's okay. We'll save it for another time.
Okay. But we do have coming up on a Giving Tuesday, which I cannot believe it's this time of the year. But Giving Tuesday is December 2nd this year. It is the Tuesday after the Thanksgiving
yes,
holiday.
after
Thank you.
Thanksgiving.
And every donation that we get at Joy's house will go toward our future wish days. And our wish days, if you don't know them, are a day that we dedicate for a guest, a client that comes to Joy's house that is all about them. And so it might be, oh my goodness, Miss Ola's wish day that had bowling and bingo and family handprint craft, which was really beautiful. Mr. Willie was just on our website.
Yes.
Everybody loves him.
Please go check out his video on there. It's, oh my gosh, it's so cool to watch him dance and see him light up with those tap shoes on.
On Facebook too, right?
Yes,
it's
on Facebook
So
and our
Tap
website as
shoes
well.
on.
oh, check it out. And so those are the special days we get to do with the funding, and it doesn't always take a lot of money. So on this Giving Tuesday, December 2nd, please give to Joy's House at joyshouse.org/give, and every dollar stays right here, and it helps to do Wish Day for one of our guests and keep us going here. So, all right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a moment.
You can find past episodes of the show at joyshouse.org, and be sure to like and follow us on Facebook. You can see Mr. Willie's video there. If you'd like to connect with us to discuss show topics, need help connecting with resources, have a question that you'd like for us to answer on there, or just want to say hey, you can reach us at joyshouse.org or email Tina right at tina@joyshouse.org. And you're listening to Caregiver Crossing, which is a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you by Joy's House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. With 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest and more than 40 years of senior living experience, Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us for more information and to find a community near you. Stay put, everybody. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. I am Tina McIntosh in studio with Noah Taylor.
Hey there.
And we are joined today by two strong supporters of Joyce House. Maria Page, who is the Chief Operating Officer at Dillman and Owen, Elder and Estate Law, and Kristin Cunningham, who is the firm's Marketing Director, are with us here in the Joyce House studio. Ladies, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, glad you're here. And you all at Dillman and Owen have been a longtime partner with Joyce House. And I know you all work very closely with families and trying to make sense of all the things that they're doing, right, during a caregiving period. And so there's planning and there's paperwork and there are next steps and there's Medicaid and there are things they don't understand and there's end of life planning. Like it's a lot and it's emotional. And these two see firsthand what caregivers are really going through. They understand it from a perspective that most people in our life don't get. And they do believe and operate under this, that having clear guidance and a trusted place to ask questions is really important. And so if you would just take a moment to reintroduce your firm and share the kind of families you work with most often would be great.
Yeah, be happy to. So we have been around for, I think, 17 years now, and we do full estate planning and elder law. So that's everything from general legal documents, power of attorney, healthcare rep. We help people find ways to pay for care. We help people navigate guardianship, navigate probate, and then we also help find care options as somebody's aging. So if you think about, as someone's growing older, there's all of these questions. Where am I going to live? How am I going to pay for it? I'm going to need some support, especially adult children. How am I going to help, care for a loved one or care for a parent? We help families navigate all of those different facets, and a lot of it is through legal planning.
So I have a question for you, Maria, and that is a lot of times when you bring up estate planning and talk about going in to see an attorney, people freak out.
Mm-hmm.
One, it's, it can be very costly, and so people get scared by that. But I think just as much they get scared by the legal documents, the legality of all of it. Like, it's really a conversation about what matters in your life and what you want to happen. Is that fair? Do you ever feel like a therapist? Maybe that's the question.
Yeah, so that's very accurate. Usually when we have a client come in, some of the biggest concerns that they have are even just asking the right questions. They don't even know what they're supposed to ask for in a consultation with a.
I don't even know what I'm doing here.
Yeah,
like I don't know what to do.
I've been told I need to do it. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what it's going to cost. So a lot of what we talk about is what kind of brought you in to the firm. Why are you here today? What triggered it? A lot of times it's a personal event that's happened, or maybe a loss of their own, which has triggered them to say, I need to do something so my kids don't go through this. A health event maybe has occurred and they've gotten a diagnosis. That means they've got a long road ahead and they need to start looking at planning. So when they come in, we always ask for, what brought you in, and what, in an ideal world, what does your legacy look like? What's important to you? Is passing on money important to you? Is, trying to remove as much burden from children important to you? And then let's figure out a way to put together a real comprehensive plan that gets you to your goal.
I love that. There's a book out there called, Falling Upward by Richard Rohr, R-O-H-R. It's a really hard word for me to say. Rohr. I don't know why. But anyway, he talks about the first 40 years of life versus the 40 plus years, the second phase, if you will. And you just hit on everything he talks about in the second, right? Is what is my legacy? What do I want it to be? Maybe not what is it now, but what do I want it to be? So how do you change that? And then how do you uplift the people around you with knowledge, with money, whatever it is? And so as you were saying that, I was like, yeah, spot on. Falling Upward, great book, by the way. All right. So for anyone hearing about all this for the first time, there is something that you've implemented that is called 12 Days of Caring. It sounds lovely. Kristin, what is it?
So 12 Days of Caring, as you mentioned before, our firm works a lot with families and their caregivers, and we see firsthand how important caregivers are to family. And a lot of times people might not even consider themselves a caregiver. It's a spouse caring for a spouse. Or a daughter caring for their dad, and it's just
it's what I do.
It's just what they do, and they just seamlessly step into that role. And then it gets to a point where they are just exhausted, and they've given so many of their resources, financial, physical, just their time. And so we wanted to take a chance to kind of show our appreciation for those people and to recognize them. So we came up with 12 Days of Caring, which we work with our local sponsors to...
Which Kristin will be singing for us momentarily.
Yeah.
Rocking around the Christmas tree.
No. You don't want that. But we kind of collected a lot of resources from our partners to just show our appreciation and kind of give back to the caregivers that have given so much to us.
Okay, so this is not the first year that you're doing this. Is there a story or a moment that sticks out from years past?
Yeah, I was talking to Maria about this on the way in. This is our third year doing it, and each year gets kind of bigger and better in a way. But I'll never forget the first year we were hand delivering the baskets, and a daughter nominated her father, who had been caring for their mom for years and years. She had dementia, and he went above and beyond when you fill out a caregiver nomination form, we ask that you give a little synopsis of what makes this caregiver special. And she just went on and on about how he always tries to involve his wife, their mom, in like the familial affairs still. So he would like take her to the son's football games and take her to the daughter's performances. And as someone, if you work with anyone with dementia or Alzheimer's, takes a lot of preparation and a lot of patience.
Not easy to do.
It's not easy. And so he just dedicated himself to making sure that she was still part of the family and still part of everything that they were doing. And he had endless patience for her. And so when we went to deliver this basket, the whole family was there.
Came in from out of town.
So they knew. He didn't know?
He didn't know. And the daughter had nominated him. And then we told the daughter that he won, and she had orchestrated this whole family. Everyone came in from out of town, so Maria and I went to deliver the basket, and the whole family was there. And I think that just really sums up the heart of 12 Days of Caring, because it's just it's not even the gifts themselves, it's just the recognizing that the daughter took the time to say thank you to dad for making such an impact on.
I mean, to be honest, he probably doesn't remember the gift. He remembers the knock at the door.
Right.
He remembers your faces.
And his family all just being there.
And being celebrated
thank you.
for something that he just did naturally that wasn't easy,
Right.
but was the best thing that he did.
Right.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
How does someone nominate someone for this?
So they can go to our website, www.dillman-owen. So I don't know if you guys link out to this, but it might be easier.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Noah's on it. Yeah.
It's on our event page on our website, 12 Days of Caring, but there's a nomination link on there, and it's super simple. There's no barriers, no anything you have to do. You just click on the link, enter some information about yourself and about them, and like I said, give a little synopsis about what makes them special. And then we randomly select the 12 winners, I guess, will be next week.
Oh, that's wonderful. So Dillman-Owen.com. We'll take care of that. All right. And we'll link you into that too.
Perfect.
All right. We're going to have to take a break here in just a moment, but I want us to be thinking about, when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about, as you're working with the families, what are some things that maybe people don't naturally notice that they're juggling at home? Because you were seeing things from a different perspective. And I think it's important for us to shine a light on that. So we'll be back in just a moment on Caregiver Crossing.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you weekly by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. We're here every week to bring you support, education, and hopefully a good laugh. Visit joycehouse.org to connect with us, to hear past episodes, learn more about caregiver support resources in the community, and much, much more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. Tina McIntosh in studio with Noah Taylor, the best producer in the whole wide world.
You're too sweet.
Well, that is not a word I normally use, but we are joined still in the Joyce House studio here with Maria Page, who is Chief Operating Officer at Dillman and Owen Elder and Estate Law, and Kristin Cunningham, who is the firm's marketing manager. And we've been talking about, first of all, they're doing this program. And I have to tell you, ladies, like the fact that you even 3 years ago created this 12 Days of Caring tells me, I already know, I've known Lisa, for years, Lisa Dillman, but you're really doing important work and you care about the people. And so for anybody who might be scared to reach out to do the estate planning, just reach out and go in. And I would say, like a therapist or a doctor or an adult day center, anywhere, if you come in and you don't feel comfortable, these ladies and others there will help to show you to someone else, another firm. It's not like you're like, hey, you're aging or got a loved one for $19.99, like come see us. I mean, you really care about the end product and what's good for the people. So thank you for what you're doing and how you do it.
Yeah, thank you.
So I want to, 12 Days of Christmas, really quick. There was a question that I neglected. What kinds of gifts or support can people expect to receive?
So
when they win,
we have, like I said, we tried to really carefully curate this basket to be something that caregivers would need / something that is just for them that they would not have. Sometimes caregivers don't allot much for themselves and don't, spend resources on themselves. And so we have gift cards like Amazon, groceries, DoorDash, gas, all kind of the necessities. But we also, like one of our clients owns a candle business and he donated candles. We got like some comfort items. Blankets and things like that hopefully kind of bring some warmth to our caregivers.
And don't cause additional stress. They don't have to worry
and it's
about
just for them.
Yeah, how am I going to get out of the house to do this activity or use this restaurant gift card? It's things that feel easily accessible to them.
I love that. So that is the 12 Days of Caring. And if you're interested in nominating a loved one, you can go to dillman-owen.com and you can do that there. All right. So here's a question, because you get to know families from a way different perspective than, like, let's say we do here at Joy's House. And what are some things that have surprised you about what it is that caregivers really need? Sometimes probably they don't even know they need.
I think what we just touched on, something that is easily accessible to them, which you all know here at Joy's House, that it can feel overwhelming for caregivers to get out and do things on their own. I mean, that's why Joy's House exists, right?
Yeah.
But I think that it's also the recognition, the feeling love in return. I mean, caregiving, especially around the holidays, which is why we do this around the holidays, it's financially sometimes a really big load to carry. It's emotionally a big load to carry. A lot of caregiving can lead to depression. It can lead to just feeling isolated, feeling lonely. So that's something that we see all of the time, people not recognizing that they're caregivers and that some of the symptoms that they're feeling are coming from caregiving, because it feels like that's what you should do. That's, it's innate, it's natural, but it can be a big mental burden, I think, or mental load to carry.
No, I'm using my words. I'm not going to cite or source this, but it is a mental health crisis in caregiving. Now, I can tell you isolation is a national epidemic. It is literally an epidemic. And Noah's heard me say it more than once, but the mental health side of it, there was a survey not too long ago, and 40% of caregivers who responded said they had thought about suicide in the previous 30 days. This kind of stuff that you're doing, yes, helping with the estate planning, don't get me wrong, all of that kind of stuff, the legal side of things is critical. But this, seeing people and being with them, listening when you're at a table and they're doing, drawing up all these forms, knocking on the door to bring them gift cards and to show them love, like, this is the kind of stuff that can pull people out of that isolation and the depth and refill. I mean, we, over the years, how many times have we heard you say, you got to keep your bucket full? If right? Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah. There's no hole in the bucket.
Yeah. You're refilling that bucket for them by doing these kinds of things. And you touched on it a little bit, Maria, but why is it important, ladies, that we do this around the holidays?
Yeah. So holidays, I mean, you'll see an uptick for us at the firm in calls during the holidays because so many family members are also going home. They're seeing parents that maybe they haven't seen in a couple of months. And it's getting darker out. There might be less getting out of the home, feeling a little bit more isolated. They'll notice a decline that maybe wasn't there a few months ago. And it can feel like, for many families, a shock. So we'll get a lot of phone calls at the firm of, I've noticed, my mom is struggling. She's not remembering things. She's holding on to, furniture where maybe she didn't used to when she was walking, or I looked in her fridge and she's got no food. So there are things that pop up during the holidays where it may feel like, a bit of a shock. But then there's also those who have been caring for loved ones who maybe they have kids of their own that they're trying to, give gifts to during the holidays. They're having to take time off work for Christmas.
Yeah, you're right. There's extra pressure that we just kind of do, right? We don't think about.
Right. And it can feel a little bit, overwhelming to, how am I going to get somebody out of the home or visit other family during the holidays? So it just becomes an emotionally, I think, burdensome time, as well as financially. And so giving back during that time, I think was important to us.
Well, I think it's important to lots of people, and you're doing it. So you are hearing the voices of Maria Page, who is the COO at Dillman and Owen Elder and Estate Law, and their marketing manager, Kristin Cunningham. Kristin, before we have to go here in just a couple minutes, can other people be supportive, like whether it's an individual or an organization? And if so, how?
Yeah, so we are still accepting donations of any amount from the community. So if your life has been impacted by a caregiver, or you just feel compelled to support the program, you can text 12 Days Caring, which is the number 12, 12 Days Caring, to 234-324-3332. And I'll send that to you, Noah. Or you can visit our webpage I mentioned earlier, and there's a link to donate there. We have some great sponsors, but we're always looking to grow the program, and 100% of donations go to 12 Days of Caring. So
give me an example of what might those do. You mentioned your client who has the candle making business. By the way, I really like citrus. I'm just putting that out there.
I'll let him know.
Just kidding. But what other kinds of things would make great gifts? We've got the gift cards. We hear, candles, but some other maybe self-care.
I would really like to include, and I don't know if it's this year or in years to come, but like a Roomba or some sort of something to help with household chores. It's just like we said, another stressor that people don't want to clean my house, and something just to help out, or like cleaning. So we had a cleaning service come to somebody's house in one of the first few years. So something like that.
Love that.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've had services in the past. It's more difficult to coordinate, I think. But if there is a business out there that's offering, like we've had somebody offer gutter cleanings and, house cleanings, things that when you're caring for somebody, the last thing you want to do is climb up on a ladder and get the leaves out.
Please don't climb up on the ladder and get rid of the leaves.
Things that are expensive too.
Right. And the other thing is, something tells me that it doesn't just have to be for this 12 Days of Caring.
Right.
So go to dillman-owen.com. Maria and Kristin, we're so grateful for how you're doing, what you're doing, and for being here at the Joy's House studio today.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And your partnership. Thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Thank you so much. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you by Joy's House in partnership with Cardon and Associates, with 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest, and more than 40 years of senior living experience. Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Stay put, everybody. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
We're back on Caregiver Crossing. I'm Tina McIntosh, still in studio.
Hi, Terry is here.
Hi, I'm Noah.
All right, so I don't, Terry, I haven't told you, but my grandmother-in-law that lived with us, Martha, 97 years old, did pass away this past week.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I knew as last time we spoke, you said you thought that transition was beginning. We never know the end date and time, but you do kind of know that it's getting close.
Yeah.
And so you were there a couple of weeks ago.
I'm so grateful for Joy's House and the training I've gotten as an end-of-life doula and the experience here. It was interesting to live the end of her life with her and kind of see those phases. and it was beautiful. And anybody that's able to do that with a loved one, physically, emotionally, financially, whatever it takes to have your loved one die at home, it was really lovely and so good for everybody.
Yeah.
But I think there's another thing that just comes to mind with that is no matter what you're going through, an illness, a divorce, a marriage, having children, buying a home, whatever it is in life, end of life in this case, or caregiving, people are watching you. And you're training people around you, even people you don't know their names, you are training them how to do the thing. And so for me, it was watching my mother-in-law, who was the primary in-person caregiver. She had a great team with all of us and with her siblings. But, you're training people, and I'm so grateful for that. But it's a good reminder because we're doing it all the time without knowing it. We're training other people how to handle a situation. Does that make sense, or am I just stuck in my emotions?
No, I'm thinking about every word you said. And you, if you're like me, guys that are listening, you're thinking of your own situations and kind of thinking about that, training other people, and also the words that you said. If you're financially, emotionally able to keep them with you in your home or still at their home, it is such a precious. I think those every second is so precious, and I think for them too. Comfort at being in their own bed, in their own home. Even I was remembering, the cats and the pets and everybody was there. And the cats, even after my father had passed away, the cats still wanted to be next to him. And I think they realized too, he's gone, So having everybody there and a part of that is very comforting to think about.
If you can.
If you can,
for
and
others,
if you
it's
can't,
like, no, I
the
need to
family
be
can still be
by myself. Or
right.
I mean, whatever works. And in the end, my 6-year-old niece said it best the other night. It was the day after she had passed, and she was sad. And I went in and said, were you having feelings about Grandma Martha passing? And she said, yeah, I'm sad, but I'm also happy because she's where she's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I thought, in the end, it doesn't matter because she's where she's supposed to be. But anyway, go ahead, Noah. You had a thought.
First of all, that is a very beautiful sentiment from a child to be able to say that. But I have to imagine it is so comforting for us as the caregiver, as the family, as the loved ones, for our loved one to die at home. But I have to imagine that the person who is actually dying has some comfort as well, being in their own home and they get to pass away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, gosh, if we need to have more conversations about this kind of stuff. And I know here at Joy's house, we do the, death cafes and these things where we are trying to normalize the conversations around death and dying. But, I think it's worth sitting down and thinking, how would I want to die if I could design that death? It's worth having that conversation. So, just putting that out there.
Thank the good Lord for hospice.
Oh,
because that has enabled, I think, so many to have that ability to keep them at home, and then hospice coming and being there perhaps at the last moments, but just being with you as a guide and a helper through that transition.
Yes, they're
and
wonderful.
Even before,
they're wonderful.
They're wonderful.
Well, I'm going to, go ahead.
I mean, that's kind of a perfect segue. Actually, it is National Hospice and Palliative Care Month. I think this could be a great time for us to maybe describe the difference of these for our listeners, because so many times people need hospice or palliative care, but are really not sure what they need. So hospice is care for people who are nearing the end of their life, usually with a life expectancy of about 6 months based on a doctor's best diagnosis. The focus is comfort for hospice. So hospice does step in when treatments meant to cure a prolonged life are no longer helping or no longer wanted. But this is a little bit different from palliative care.
No, I've done both. I did palliative care for my dad when he died 2 years ago, and hospice I've done, for several others. And there is a big difference, but it is all about comfort. It's about comfort and not having pain. And so just
explain, if you would, the difference between the two, because I remember hearing both of those words and thinking immediately, this is it. This is it. But it doesn't necessarily, with palliative care, necessarily
so
mean...
I think, some of this Noah just said, so I'll repeat probably a little bit, but hospice 6 months and less is typically what hospice is. Palliative care is really any age and you're living with some kind of a serious illness and you just want to have a little more control on what you're doing and not doing in your life. But it really does come down to comfort and just not having pain and angst about the whole thing. So, I think both are wonderful. I will tell you, sometimes you have to be the advocate for yourself or your loved one to say, hey, I'd like to talk with palliative care. Hospitals have a palliative care team. Lots of people do, but it's not always, in my experience, it's not always offered up front the way it should be. So like for my dad, for instance, when my dad was in the hospital, if I may, like they were like, well, we can do a little work on his kidneys and they could be better. And we can work on this with his heart and we can do this with the lungs. And I was like, time out. I want to talk with palliative care because the reality is you're a kidney doctor trying to work on improving the kidneys. You're the heart doctor trying to do that. And my dad's ready to go. And so palliative care met with us and asked a lot of questions and listened and then said, yeah, we agree. It's time. We can move him into hospice instead of trying to prolong his life.
Mm-hmm.
It's about comfort and what your person wants, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, it is for anyone who's working in palliative care and hospice. Those are just really,
Oh
I
my
mean, as
goodness.
Terry
I
alluded,
think, yeah,
just
it
incredible.
has to be a
and-
calling, I'm sure.
For sure. But I do want you to know that you can qualify for hospice sooner than you think oftentimes. And so it will bring you that comfort and that clarity. And just don't wait. You bring it up if you need to. I think that's my biggest thing to caregivers and those of us when we're living with some kind of a diagnosis or aging. We have to advocate for ourselves because the doctors, our medical team, they're doing their job and they're most of the time doing a great job. But you have to advocate for how you want to live the rest of your life. And so ask the questions. If we can be helpful, get a hold of us here. You can go to joycehouse.org and we'll help you out in any way that we possibly can. So just don't wait. All right. Well, if you want past episodes of the show, go to joycehouse.org. There's some great ones out there, you guys. So please go there. You can also connect with us. You can email me at tina@joycehouse.org. If you just want to tell us what you want to hear on the show, say hi, tell us what's going on, send me a hug. I could use a hug right now. So, all right. Love to y'all, and we'll talk with you soon next week.